Hi class, this is JilMac. I'm your instructor for the Community College of Vermont, and today we're going to be talking about grades. How do you earn your grade? Well, first let's bring up the JilMac website. In this case we're talking about web development, but it could be any of my classes. And we have a link on the left navigation called Grade and Attendance. And in grade and attendance, it explains how I calculate grades. And because I'm a math major and an accountant and a programmer, I like everything to add up to points. So each assignment, you have it broken up into your research, and the research is worth 1 point, and putting it on your website so that it's linkable from Moodle will give you the 2nd point. Each assignment, we also have 3 before and afters. So the code from our textbook, whether we're studying HTML or whether we're studying JavaScript or PHP or Photoshop or whatever, your before and after examples are samples that are in your book that you can use for the before, and then you make a change. So for each one of these, you get 1 point each. You have to have the before and the after. And the reason that we have the before code is that you always want to keep your original code. You never want to overwrite it, just in case you ever have to fall back. And it could be a year later. They might say, well, last year this code didn't do this. Or last year when we sent out this document, it didn't look like this. And if you don't have that from a year ago to bring up again and say, well, here it is, it's going to be a painful experience. So I try to reinforce that because everything we do is stuff that I have done in the real world or do in the real world. And you always want to keep your before code. You also want to keep, and it's called archiving. You want to keep all of your files that were in production. Now, files don't take up that much space. What takes up space, of course, is videos and photographs and things like that. But code, that doesn't take up much space at all. So don't think you're saving any space by getting rid of code. You really want to keep those before examples. And as time goes on, I'll be showing you how to compare them. So for each before and after example, you get 1 point, and you can earn up to 3 points per assignment. So that gives us 5 points every assignment, or mostly weeks if it's in the fall or the spring. And 14 assignments times 5 is going to give us 70 points. So that's how we earn the points. For our project outline, which is going to be due around midterm, so for the fall and spring semesters, that's going to be around week 8 or assignment 8. In the summer, it's going to be around assignment 6 because there's only 12 weeks. Outlines need to detail the project. What do you want to accomplish in this class? For most web development classes, that's going to be, I'm going to make a website. Some of you may be wanting to make a website in HTML because you want to go on and do programming and coding. As others may say, well, it's nice to learn that basics, but I really would like to make a Google website, and I'm going to do my project as a Google website. So students have that option. Which way do they want to go? Your outline, you should update it as you think about things. So that's why a lot of times when we're putting together our navigation of all the different assignments, I say put a project in there so that you can start building up what it is you want to see in that project. As you're going out and doing your research, you may say, boy, that's a really nice website. I like the look and feel of that, or I like the colors, or I like the way you move from screen to screen. So you should put a link in your project and say, I like this website, or I like this one, or I like this about this site. So that when it comes time to put together a little write-up, you're not kind of searching for, where did I see that? Where did I see that? So you're encouraged to update your project. And also, after the outline, you need to keep that up to date. What did you actually accomplish? We'll talk about that in a minute. So the semester, so all of this outline is worth 5 points. It's worth 3 points at midterm and then another 2 points at the end of the semester when you update it and say, what did you actually do for the project? So 3 points at midterm and 2 points when you're updating it and you have completed your project to say what you actually did. So the semester project is worth 25 points. So there's no tests in class, in my classes, because I'm not giving you stuff to memorize. The web changes every semester. Every semester I'm scrambling, trying to make sure that, I have all the stuff that's up to date. The links are working this semester. The web changes at the speed of the web. And so there's no reason to memorize things. What I want you to do is I want you to be able to find what you need when you need it. And that's what our each assignment researches are, is I ask you a question and you go out and look for it. I don't want your opinions. I want you to go out and research what is the latest, greatest stuff today. So the 70 points, the 5 points, and the 25 points are all going to give you a grand total of 100 points. I don't expect every student to get 100 points. But you can earn that, and there's also lots of times where you can get extra credit. So I break it up and I look at it a little bit differently here. But if you want to know, what do you get if you get 100? If you get 100 points, you will get an A+. If you get between 95 and 99 points, you'll get an A. Between 90 and 94, you'll get an A-. If you get below 59, you will fail the class. And if you get between 60 and 69, you'll get a D, and a D is passing. But it won't really transfer. So if you're trying to get into a different school, you really need to have a B or above. Sometimes if you're transferring to the other Vermont state colleges, you can get away with a C, but you really need to check with your advisor because there are different rules about different courses depending on what you're going to do when you get to that new school. So when you look at your Moodle and you look all the way down at the bottom, it's going to tell you how many points you've earned so far. And it will tell you in assignment 11 research, you could get between 0 and 2 points. So there's a lot of times that maybe you've only done, one before and after, and you can go back and do some more before and afters. So that's what the grading is. If we look at this grading in Moodle, here we are. This is a live one in Moodle. You can see as the semester progresses that I break up each assignment so that you know exactly what you've turned in and what I've graded. And a lot of students will say to me, well, Jill, I want you to tell me what I still have to do. Well, go to your grades and it's going to tell you I haven't graded your assignment 3 research. And if you go and you look in assignment 3 research and you haven't posted in there, then I don't know to go and test it and see if you've completed it or not. You posting in Moodle is my flag to go out and grade you on that. And a lot of times I might say, well, you did this right, or you still have to do this one more thing. So I'll give you partial credit, and I'll say just repost. When you're done, repost. So it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, but whenever you're done, or it might be catch up at the end of the semester, whenever you're done, go ahead and post that you've done that assignment again, and I will regrade you. There is no penalty for late assignments. You are allowed to learn within the 15 weeks of the course, but I do want to see progress throughout the 15 weeks. And down at the bottom, it'll tell you what the potential is and how many points you've earned so far. Okay, so that's grading. Then there's one more thing. There's something called the rubrics. How do you know how many points you get for doing something? So we're going to go down to class project. We can also look under the assignments page on project. And on project, it's going to show you that there's an attachment for the rubrics. So if we look at this rubric, the rubric's going to come up and it's going to say, for your project is 25% of your grade. You should have a website header and a footer and navigation and a menu for your navigation. And you should have a favicon, and you should have CSS and some JavaScript and external links to other sites and internal links to pages within the site. I'm expecting it's going to be about 10 pages, and it's going to contain many kinds of graphics. And some of them will have a clickable image, and there's going to be, you should have a Google map in there in your directions page. And you should use a Google form to collect information. You should put a calendar on there. And, use a supporting Google site or content or graphic collection or outlines. The use of tables to organize data neatly and arrange data on a web page. Validate your pages. Test them how they're going to look on a computer or a phone or a tablet. Responsinator is a little old, but it's okay. If you don't know what to say on your website, put some lorem ipsum in there. If you're doing an HTML site, you can validate it. You can also check the speed, regardless of what tool you're making your website with. You want your website to load fast. Oh, I just took this great picture and it's 12 megapixels. It's 12 gigs or something. And it's just way, way too big. You have to make that image smaller, and Speed Tracker will tell you. Does it have a good flow? Is it easy to read and follow? And then here, it tells you how does I accomplish it. If the header is missing from your website, you're going to get no points for it. If the header was not an actual header, but it kind of looked like a header, you don't get any points. The header was on some of the pages, but not all of the pages, you get half a point. Header was on all the pages, you get a point. Header was an external PHP file and did extraordinary things, and you'd get more. And that goes for each of the components: the header, the footer, the navigation, the favicons, the CSS, the JavaScript, the links, 10 pages, graphics. In each of these, it's showing you how you can earn a point for those. Use of subdirectories. Did you test it on a phone? Did you use lorem ipsum so that you kind of get the flow of it? All of these different things will give you, it's how I'm adding points to your page. So that's all in the rubric. If you have any questions about that, just give me a call and we can talk about it. And remember, go to your grades and find out, how many grades have you gotten and how many are still outstanding. And each one of you will be able to see what I've graded. And if you don't see a grade, check in Moodle. If it looks like it was a while ago and I didn't respond, it could be that I overlooked it. So repost it and get all the points. I want each of you to be a point monger. If you have questions about it, give me a call. We can work one-on-one. Remember, I'm always here, except this semester on Wednesday afternoons and evenings and Thursdays. I am off-site. But the rest of the week is fine. Give me a call. Set up some times and we can work on things. And thank you very much. Till the next video. This is JilMac.